It's 8 p.m. in a Pakistani house, and the power just cut. We call that instinct Jugar. The West hears the word and pictures duct tape and shortcuts. That's the lazy read. Jugar is systems thinking under constraint. You map every dependency. You find every failure point. You root around the broken part. And here's what's strange. Pakistan, the country that sells more raw human work hours than almost anywhere on Earth, is also producing the people building the machines that end the hours for dollars trade. That looks like a contradiction. Read it right and it's a clue. Let me show you the number, then the names, then why the childhood is the whole story. Start with the number. Pakistan is the world's second largest supplier of digital labor. Freelance exports hit roughly $959 million in just 10 months of this fiscal year. That's up about 50% year over year, across some 2.37 million registered freelancers. The comfortable read is that this is a cheap hour story. A back office. The place headquarters outsources the work nobody upstairs wants to do. But sit with the shape of it. The country selling the most human hours into the global economy is also the country building the machines designed to delete the hours for dollars trade entirely. Those two facts should not live in the same place. They do. So either it's a coincidence, or the same conditions that produce cheap hours also produce the rare instinct to automate them. One of those is boring. The other is a signal almost nobody is reading. I think it's the second one. And the proof isn't a vibe. It's on a cap table. 2 weeks ago, the whole industry watched a rocket company agree to buy an AI tool for $60 billion. Everyone stared at the famous name on the buyer's side. Look one line down the cap table instead. Look at who built the thing. The tool is Cursor, the most valuable AI coding tool on the planet. SpaceX agreed to pay $60 billion for it. And Cursor was co-founded by Jugaad, born in Karachi. Nixer College, then MIT. He represented Pakistan at the International Mathematical Olympiad 3 years running. So the most prized AI coding tool in the world was co-built by a kid from a city that loses power for hours a day. And he is not the exception you wheel out for a feel-good clip. He's the leading edge of a pattern. Take Rihan Hamid, NUSD, then a Stanford PhD. He co-founded Kinara, an edge AI chip company. NXP bought it for $307 million in cash, and the deal closed at the end of October 2025. 2 names, 2 dated outcomes. Real receipts, not rumors. So the question gets sharper. It stops being where the next AI giant comes from. It becomes what kind of childhood manufactures the instinct to build one. So what is it about growing up there? It's not the schools alone, and it's not luck. It's a specific reflex the environment drills into you before you're old enough to name it. Here's the mechanism. In Pakistan, you grow up where nothing works out of the box. The power cuts, so you wire the inverter and the battery and keep the fans running. The official path is jammed, so you find the one road around it. The tool doesn't exist, so you build it yourself. The word is older than us and shared across South Asia. Jugaad was coined in India, making things work with limited means through clever fixes and sheer will. Our contribution may be that we industrialized it. Now read Jugar back as a spec. When you have no resources to throw at a problem, you're forced to understand the whole machine. Every dependency, every failure point, And then you root around the broken part. Tell me that's anything other than the job description of an agentic system. An agent gets a goal, a broken environment and incomplete tools. It maps the system, finds what's failing and works around it to reach the goal. The kid does it with copper. The engineer does it with a model. Same program, different hardware. For a long time, this was only Badama, a reflex in millions of heads with no flag on it. That just changed. The state started pointing the same direction, and it picked one very loaded word. In July 2025, the federal cabinet unanimously approved a 6-pillar national AI policy authored by the Ministry of IT. Then they put weight behind the words. The government adopted the Islamabad AI Declaration on Sovereign, Responsible AI in February 2026, presented by IT Minister Shahza Fatima Khawaja. That April it launched AI SECO, an upskilling program with Google. And the Prime Minister committed $1 billion to AI, with a target of 1 million Pakistanis trained by 2030. Read the word they chose. Sovereign. That's the official name for the gap I've been circling the whole way down. The gap between owning your stack and renting it. Owning the deed at national scale. Now I'll keep it honest. A policy is paper until it ships. A pledge counts only when the invoice clears. And a 2030 target is a long way from a result. Execution is the hard part, and that's still ahead. But direction is what you bet on early. For the first time, the instinct of the builders and the intent of the state point at the same thing. So go back to that house with the fan spinning off a battery while the grid sits dead. That kid isn't waiting for the system to work. He's already routing around it. That's the loop I opened with, and here's where it lands. Jugar trained an entire population to treat a broken, half-built environment as the normal starting condition. And a broken, half-built environment is exactly what every AI agent wakes up inside. The instinct that kept the fans on is the instinct that builds the machine. The export that matters next isn't the hours. It's the people who automate them, and the stack they choose to own instead of rent. The deed, not the shift. Here's my question for you. If Jugar really is the agentic instinct, where else does scarcity quietly train the skill the future pays the most for? Drop the country and the constraint you grew up with. I want to read them. And if you grew up flipping that switch in the dark, you already know how this ends.